A divine, malevolent moth known to only cause destruction to protect its worshippers on Infant Island, the arch rival of Godzilla, the queen of the monsters, Mothra! What is up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeek Mixer here to give you guys my last pit stop review on the second of the two solo kaiju films that happened during Godzilla's 7-year hiatus. And this time, we are dealing with Mothra. So it all starts off with a ship being capsized on an island called Infinite Island. Pretty much many people die, but there's a few survivors. There's a rescue op to find them, which they do, but they're astounded to find out that these guys survived on that island because that island was one of the islands that was hit by the hydrogen bomb's radiation. So it was all plain and deserted, but they find out that these guys survived because natives made them drink some juice that kept them healthy and good in shape. That cure makes people curious, so they decide to set up an exhibition to go out there and look at the island, research it and everything. During that time, we are introduced to the three main characters, that being Dr. Shizu, Fukuda, and Misigi, and the villain, Nelson. Now, Nelson, straight out the bat, you can tell is the villain because he doesn't waste time in showing his expressions and everything. And not to mention showing he has a weapon with them. You can tell, yeah, this guy's just bad news. But either case, during when the exhibition is going, Fukuda decides to stow away on the ship. Why? Well, because he's a reporter and he does whatever it takes to get a story. And even though at first people weren't happy, he came aboard because Nelson made sure there were no reporters in this exhibition. But that didn't stop him. But either case, he's able to stay on board so long as he doesn't take pictures. In any case, they don't waste any time. They head on over to Infant Island. They start to explore and study things around. While they're doing that, Dr. Shozu gets lost. He ends up finding some plants that had the juice that kept those guys healthy and alive, along with those natives. While he's there, he is attacked by a plant. But while he's attacked, he ends up before he goes into unconsciousness, he sees two little women who are actually all grown and just a foot tall. And those are actually the twin fairies of Mothra who communicate with humans for Mothra. His team finds him and rescues him. He lets them know about him, and it definitely astounds Nelson. It astounds them all, but Nelson, very astounded, but not in a good way. But either case, they try to look for him again, and they do, and all these fairies want is for them to leave because they feel that they're experimenting around their island again and gonna cause a hydrogen bomb that causes a lot of radiation. Of course, they make sure to let them know they come in peace and they decide to leave them alone. But Nelson is seeing a rare thing like them, he tries to grab them and take them with them. But luckily, the natives are there to stop him, and with the rest of the team, he realizes he can't do anything, so he ends up letting them go. And after that, they all head back to the mainland, and while back over in the mainland, Dr. Shizu and Fukuda decide to do a little research on Nelson, especially after all the things he pulled during the exhibition. Unfortunately, they don't find anything. But they also end up researching the mark that they kept seeing in the ancient writings on Infant Island. Yes, and the word they keep learning into was Mothra. Of course, they didn't know what that means. Oh, but they sure will know what that means soon, because here's the thing. Nelson heads back to the island, finds those fairies, and steals them. Now this time, the natives aren't able to stop him, and since they weren't able to stop him, one of them goes to a shrine and calls to Mothra, the very same word that the two main characters were looking into. And that's when an egg pops out. And while that happens, we find out Nelson is exploiting the two fairies as profit for entertainment. And while he's doing that, while they sing a music and everything, people are thinking they're singing willingly, and even though they don't understand, they think it's fun. Well, what the thing is here, while they're singing and people are dancing, that's the same thing happening on Infant Island because the natives there are dancing and praying to call upon their god to awaken inside that egg, that being Mothra herself. Now, the three main characters try to get them to be released, but Nelson's like, heck no, I'm not releasing these girls. They're making me a lot of money. Typical of a greedy person like him. But in any case, he does give them a chance to talk with the girls and find out that the girls are letting them know that Mothra's coming and she'll stop at nothing. She won't care who's in her way. She doesn't care who she hurts. She just wants to bring the twin fairies back. And that's exactly what that is, because then eventually those natives, their prayers are answered. Mothra hatches from her egg and out comes a caterpillar. It's known as the larval stage of Mothra. With her release now, she is heading out to Tokyo, and she demonstrates exactly that nothing will stand in her way, because while she's going, she destroys a ship. The word of this is informed to Nelson, but Nelson doesn't care. He still thinks there's no problem with it, and there's the monster's not his problem. What an arrogant, greedy man. Just won't stop. But in either case, with knowing that Nelson won't cooperate, they decide to try to attack Mothra and kill her. Good luck with that. I mean, I know it's a caterpillar, but this is a kaiju, guys. And these kaijus aren't easy to take down. I mean, it looks like they take her down because she doesn't come back up from the water. And of course, the arrogant Nelson thinks she's dead. But no, she isn't dead, because she rises from Tokyo Bay and starts attacking in Tokyo Bay. And that's when it don't take long for her to make it up to land. And once she makes it up to land, oh, the military, go on, shoot all you want. She's not stopping. She makes it over to Tokyo Tower, and there, while she destroys it, she then decides to make a cocoon out of it. And while all this is happening, Nelson uses this chance and opportunity to run away with the fairies to a new town called Nukiruk City. I no doubt butcher that name, but whatever. We're doing our best here, people. In any case, with the cocoon now staying still for a while, the military decides to bring in some heat rays to attack it, and it goes on fire. When Nelson hears this, he's all happy and excited, realizing that Mothra's gone, and those fairies can sing all they want. Mothra's not coming back. Oh, but you foolishly forget this is a kaiju, and it's going to take more than that to stop her, because as soon as, after some time, she comes out of that egg as a moth and just starts destroying everything with her mighty wings, blowing everything around her. And when she finally is getting to the same direction of where the fairies are, that's when, like, Nelson finds out that she's still alive, and the country has completely turned against him, knowing full well that he has what Mothra wants, and since he's not cooperating, he's pretty much a fugitive from everybody. And even still, he won't give him up. He just tries to run away again. Luckily, he gets into some traffic due to citizen evacuation, and those citizens recognize him and try to get him to give up. And even still, he just won't quit, even when his clients tell him to. Dude, give it up! Oh, man. Either way, even though he fights back, he's caught, and the fairies are rescued, and with that, they are taken to an airport where the main characters get people to make a sign for Mothra to land on, which she does. The fairies are given back to her, and she heads back to her island, where the fairies will live off in peace. And that is Mothra, folks. It was a really great introduction for her, because the plot, it was great. It had a great villain that you could just hate, and hate, because he only cared about himself. He didn't care how badly the cities were being destroyed. All he cared about was himself. So that guy nailed it as the villain. You gotta give that guy props and everything. The only problem I have with the film is that Rodan and Godzilla, when they were doing their destruction, the city structures, they felt real. But these city structures that Mothra was in and destroying, you could just tell the plastic of all of them. It just looked like it was just a little toy display and everything. Even when everything was being blown away, I was like, sorry, I'm not believing this, because I didn't see people running, not at all. Not like in Rodan and Godzilla. So that's where it gets a down on that side. So it would probably be, say, like I give it 7.5 out of 10. This would be me for that movie. It was still a good movie though. The acting was great. The structures just could have been way better than this. Because there was even a time when characters were saying Mothra killed thousands. And that's hard to believe when we were seeing her destruction because there was nobody there. But either case, that is my last of the two solo kaiju films that were happening during the Godzilla hiatus that will be appearing in the summer premiere of Godzilla. And now I'll be back on the Godzilla franchise with the legendary monster battle itself, King Kong versus Godzilla. And until then, if you guys are enjoying my videos, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified of more videos. Until then, MegaGeek Mixer is signing out. Bye!